The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh, got my hustle on, no imitation of bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heart throbbing my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too feeble and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty.
Speaking report on Earnestly podcast coming to you September 10th, 2024. It is also a little off topic here, debate night in the political sphere.
My God. Who? No, okay. I'm just kidding.
I care.
I was about to drop who the hell cares on you, but like I don't actually mean that. I get where it's relevant. The reason why I say what I say is let's be honest. Who's going to be the bigger a-hole is who's going to actually, air quotes, win the debate, and then people are going to say stupid things, and then polls that aren't actually reflective of the country's actual opinion will come out, and then you and Jim will fight about it, and it's a whole thing, you know.
You should hear the fights right now my wife and I get into these last couple of days. Oh my
yes,
God.
I've heard
and he got woke, and he got big woke Jim. I'm calling you woke Jim on my show.
I've listened. I've been in the text message exchanges. You talking about Lauren the liberal and woke Jim attacking you, the black Trump supporter, right?
Even though once again, for the fucking 36,000th time for the last 8 years, I am not a Trump supporter. I just find the guy entertaining. That's all. Find it entertaining. Terrific job.
Let me back you up here. I will sign off. This isn't like his Cowboys fanhood, which is 100% genuine. He is not a Trump fan. He is not voting for Trump. He just has the ability to be critical of other people, perhaps more than other people would appreciate. And that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I'm not defending you. I'm just telling the truth. There's a difference.
Right. Anyway, you guys are here for sports, not for a football talk, as we do here on our Tuesday episode.
Sports,
sports, yeah. Student game report here, of course.
We got
a lot to talk about. Well, actually, I'll talk about college football on the back end of the show. Update the top 25 AP poll because there's been a lot of shake up there too as well. But week 1 in the NFL officially in the books. Let's start first from last night's game. So that's the most fresh on our mind. And that's Jets and Niners last night. Aaron Rodgers returned after we played 4 plays last year. First game back. Niners first game back since losing the Super Bowl. Your Niners, of course. Dominant performance by the Niners last night, even without Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. I mean, listen, are we really surprised by all this? Okay. You know, if you had Lucifer Morningstar on your soundboard, I'd have you play it now. Unfortunately,
you can do it yourself now.
There are just some things that I leave to Big Jim of Huddle Up. I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen. Yeah, actual voice acting. I mean, I may not go bing so much anymore, but I do still voice act on my video.
I missed the bing. I love the bell.
You know what's funny is I had the Barking Browns host Casey on, and he was like, "No bing." He was disappointed when I hit the bell, so I gave him a bing just to let him know.
But he understands that the bell is the replacement of the bing.
I call them supplemental materials because here's the thing, Ernest Christian. If for whatever reason I'm not doing the show in the studio proper, guess what? I can't use the bell.
Bing's alive again.
Is still alive. Yeah, I was in the wrong place to use it when I was talking with my friend Mark Moses of the Mark Moses Show on 1560 AM The Fan in Melbourne. I had to go bing. It's not dead. It's just different.
Okay. So your Niners look dominant again, back to their NFC Championship last night. And no Christian McCaffrey last night. I thought Brock Purdy looked pretty decent yesterday for the most part. You know, just doing his job.
I mean, everybody. Brock Purdy did Brock Purdy things. You know, Jawan Jennings coming up lame a little bit frustrated me. Aaron Charles Rodgers did well. Actually, I shouldn't make fun of Aaron Charles Rodgers too much. It's not like he had a horrible game. But Fred Warner actually did Fred Warner things. And listen, for people that don't have him as a top 3 Niner on their list, they're wrong, right? The list goes as such: most important, Trent Williams; second most important, Fred Warner; and I suppose you would put third most important, CMC. He's not in the game, and they still win in dominant fashion, and a lot of that has to do with Fred Warner and company.
Does that say more about the Niners or about the Jets? I think more about the Niners, honestly.
I disagree. Listen, everybody knew, allegedly, right? You don't really know, but everybody's feeling was the Niners were going to crush people. And then people were like, oh, there's no Christian McCaffrey. They're vulnerable. And then also, Brandon Ayuk hasn't been practicing. Trent Williams hasn't been. Sure, Trent Williams has been in the league for like 567 years and is still somehow arguably, if not the best offensive lineman in the damn league. He don't need that much damn practice to do his job. But Ayuk not being there, if there was an opportunity for the Niners to get God, especially in the world where you have Sauce Gardner and I'm supposed to worry and you have a multiple-time MVP and blah, 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 you should have been able to do something. Instead, the headline for the New York Jets is, at least he's still healthy. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, you got out alive. You got out alive.
A literal headline. I think it was the New York Post. I could be wrong, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least we know we got the over on the amount of plays.
Was it Antoine Staley's New York Daily News on that? Antoine Staley gets it, right?
Always a bing for that. He gets 2 bings.
Okay,
he's a friend of ours. He gets 2 bings, of course.
Don't make me the goddamn bell.
So look. The reason why I think it's more about the Niners this is why I picked them to win comfortably even weeks before this game started, is that they're a try and true. You know what you're getting. The Jets,
hubba. Money.
Who do you trust?
And you have to say money now for Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk. Am I right?
Right, that's very true. The Jets, they look, last year obviously didn't go for the hitch because of the injury. So there's still things they got to figure out. Now, I do think all things equal, they will figure it out. I haven't gone to the playoffs this year, but them losing this game last night was not surprising.
Going to the Super Bowl last week, so there's that.
Who said that?
You.
Not me.
Go to the tape, coach.
No. That's my boss. No,
I'm glad I have this on record.
Wait.
On Twitter.
I know it's my boss who picked them to go to the Super Bowl last year.
No.
I
mean this year.
No.
You made a comment about them being Super Bowl contending.
I have the Ravens as Super Bowl champions. It's impossible.
You said Brown Super Bowl contending. Those were your actual.
No. That I did say. No, I said if Deshaun Watson. Well, look, we'll get more on that later. We saw week 1, he looked like shit. So that looked like I'm going to playoffs though. I had the Jets making the playoffs though, not the Super Bowl.
Because any of the Tates, here's the thing: Browns, Jets, playoffs, Madoff. It's still a scam, and you're wrong. That's the point. See what I did there?
But the Jets' schedule that's going week to week. So if the Jets are going to get back to I guess I'll say relevancy, but more so back to what they need to be, their schedule is favorable going forward. Their next 3-4 games, I'm telling you right now.
I hope
Tennessee next week.
Okay.
Pats at home. At Tennessee. Pats at home. Look, big win against the Pats against the Bengals. We'll get that in a little bit
later.
Yeah, but come on now. Denver at home. Minnesota on the road. They should go at no worse.
They should be 5-1, is what I hear you telling me.
4-1, right? 4-1.
Excuse me.
Yeah, 4-1. So we'll see more. If they can't get through this part of the schedule, what I hitch, then we can panic.
Okay.
Are they on low with San Francisco? Hell no, because no one else but Kansas City is at this point. Just stop.
Come on, homie.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to over panic. They're not on the level.
Well, first of all, I'm proud of you for you and your family that you've learned to control your knees a little better and not jerk them so hard. You understand you're getting older. You want to be able, you and your knee-jerk reactions,
Yeah, but
I talk about jerking. No, I'm saying you're not doing that, and I'm proud of you. I'm trying to give you a compliment, you big
thank you.
bear, you.
Well, you know this too also. This is why.
Take a fucking compliment, Ernest Christian.
No, I'm with you. And that's the thing too also.
I'm happy I cursed on your show while complimenting
I did.
you.
But Kyle,
hard.
Kyle, every week after week one, we've been doing this shooting report for the last like 10, 11 years, maybe even 12 years. And what is the theme every year after week one? Everybody overreacts,
including you.
Everybody.
That's why you got a compliment.
I appreciate that. So it fits the narrative. You saw it. No, look, all of a sudden people are saying, "Oh, Patriots are they a playoff team now? Being the Bengals." Stop
it. Yeah.
Stop. Okay.
Right.
We're not doing that crap.
They're stealing money from.
Thank you.
People like my friend Travis D. Holmes of the Duval Dive.
Right.
But no, and listen, I'm going to say I wanted to turn one of your favorite questions on you.
Go ahead.
If the Jets lose one of those next 4 games, panic mode?
Depends on the loss. Actually, you know what? No, no. They panic. No, but they're not unlevel.
They lose 2 of those games.
Oh, definitely panic mode.
Okay, carry on.
Absolutely, because the quality opponent, like quality opponent, should matter here with San Francisco. San Francisco. I mean, they were literally in the Super Bowl like 8 months ago. Like, what are we doing here?
Yes.
Like,
in the longest Super Bowl in history, mind you. Yeah.
Right. And by the way, another thing that people, I'm not panicking on. I am not, even though they lost on Thursday night, I am not panicking on the Baltimore Ravens. I felt like as bad as they were on Thursday, they were literally a toenail for probably winning that game.
Help me with
on the road,
bad, if I may. Where exactly were the Baltimore Ravens bad?
I don't think. Well, I'll say you had the 5 penalties they had. That.
Okay,
so let's game that.
If I may, let's address that. You're talking about the I guess they were calling it a legal procedure.
Information. That's what it was. Right.
What happened at the end of the drive for those first 3 penalties?
Don't remember.
I'll help you if you need it.
Go ahead.
Lamar Jackson put his team in position to score a touchdown with the help of running back and new acquisition Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. They scored after 3 of those penalties. By the way, the fact that we didn't have that conversation basically at all with the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, I've never been the refs love the Chiefs guy, but boy, here, I'll steal one from you. The optics were pretty bad on that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Here's the part that drives me precisely nutty. And you and I both probably sit in this camp. People are barbecuing Lamar Jackson. And this is so goddamn stupid. You and I both know, EJ Christian, one of 2 things happens different. We're not even having this conversation.
Right.
1, Isaiah Likely doesn't do his best Tone Loc impression. He just put on that big ass size 13 and kick it for the homies. Okay.
I like it.
No. And honestly, truth be told, if that touchdown stands, no one cares. No one cares. No, we're on to Cincinnati. There you go. Right. Not that Cincinnati's next week, but I know at some point the Ravens play Cincinnati. See, that's why it works. But
of course,
actually, technically the Chiefs would be on to Cincinnati. They play the Bengals in week 2. More on that later. The other thing that no one's talking about, instead of talking about Lamar Jackson missing a throw with 2 backup guards and Chris Jones, who I am now officially calling the most underrated player in the NFL after this week.
Ooh, okay.
With Chris Jones bearing down you, he missed Zay Flowers in the end zone. Hey, you know what? You know the last time Chris Jones made a quarterback miss? EJ Christian, does it come to mind for you? You mentioned it 8 months ago. He made Brock Purdy miss a touchdown pass.
Right.
That turned into a field goal. You think that might have mattered? Who's killing Brock Purdy? Now, granted, Brock Purdy gets his share of unwarranted criticism, but not to the same degree as Lamar Jackson. What the hell else do you want this guy to do? He comes out and did stuff on par with the thing I keep seeing the highlight from Anthony Richardson and that beautiful touchdown pass that he threw. Good gravy.
Oh my God. Amazing touchdown pass.
Lamar Jackson is the only other guy I know who could do that. Oh, Patrick Mahomes can? We ain't seen him do that lately. Most of that is because a lot of defenses are daring him to throw deep so they can pick him off. By the way, speaking of getting picked off, who was the guy that got picked off in that football game? Ernest Christian?
Was it Pat Mahomes?
It was Patrick LaVon Mahomes II. correct. But everybody seems to have glossed over that incredibly obvious fact.
Unfortunately, with Lamar Jackson, because of him being, and I'm not saying him the person, but him the player, so polarizing, critics won't shut up or at least dilute or at least calm down the rhetoric with him until he wins a ring.
Well, here's what
and it's unfair. It really is.
Here's what I don't understand. If you want to criticize Lamar Demetrius Jackson's decisions in the game, I'm okay with it. He ran an awful lot. I honestly don't think we'll see it like at that ratio again for the rest of the season. I really don't. I think a lot of this was twofold. A, it was the Chiefs. This dude was hyped AF for that game.
Very emotional game. Very emotional game.
A, B, I again reiterate, Chris Jones. Why are we not talking about him more? Because he's a fatty. Nobody likes the trenches. Okay. So no, I just the horrible analysis of Lamar Jackson missing Zay Jones or other passes on that drive when he's under that much duress. The only reason there's a pass attempted is because he's Lamar Demetrius Jackson. Thomas Edward Patrick Bieber Brady. You want to know what happens to him in that situation, Ernest? He is lunch. Okay? Chris Jones does his best fat bastard impression. Gut in my belly.
That was good.
What can I say except you're
welcome. No, like I said, is it going to take him? I don't even think getting Super Bowl is enough for him. I think he has to win a Super Bowl for people to really say, okay.
Then they'll say it's just one. And then
right, true. They'll move the goalposts, of course.
There is no winner, right? And this is why people have made it a political issue. Granted, nobody wanted to talk about that when it was Peyton Williams Manning because he's the whitest whitey that ever whited.
He's very white.
But he is incredibly white. He even wore white jerseys often with the Colts. I get it. But listen, that's terrible. That's what I'll say. I blame you, Ernest Christian. No, but
I said what I said.
He was a choke artist for the longest time, and people were still calling him that after the first one, until his very last game where he won a second was it finally really truly subdued.
Yeah.
Right.
By the way, a little surprise here. A boy.
Hey, sports
Tokyo E. Jameson. Big TJ. What's up, brother? Thank you, sir.
Always
Thank you, sir.
Big TJ.
Kyle.
Sir.
Is it can we just say now? I said it on my podcast Sunday, and I'll say it today. But I'll ask you,
what's your podcast again, Ernest Christian?
This one, Earnestly podcast. There we go. Are the New York Giants officially the most dumbest franchise in football?
I mean, I know you're a bit biased as a Cowboys fan to ask.
Stop!
But excuse me. There's a writer I see a lot in the UCF press box, but I think it's the Daytona Beach. It's not the Daytona Beach Times. I feel terrible. Sorry, Chris. I don't remember the name. Chris Boyle. I don't remember the name of your publication, and that makes me a horrible human. But he said 2022. That playoff appearance may have set back the Giants a decade. And I think that's a really good take, actually.
I kind of said the same thing, too, a year ago also, too. It was like, I don't know, because when he signed Daniel Jones that contract, because of that run, no. I said that, too. Like, I don't know if this is a good thing, though.
I mean, the mistakes are being exposed left and right, okay? Daniel Jones wasn't the guy. The GM was an idiot for signing Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley, regardless. At least in the case of an injury, you can get that money forgiven off the contract, and you know that can work. It was obvious then that
I'm not gonna lie, Kyle, though, and I've been saying this the last couple of years, though,
as I've proven to you time and again, and you couldn't accept. All of this has been made correct.
I'm still not convinced, though, that Joe Shane was the reason they re-signed Daniel Jones. Something still tells me that ownership likes this kid.
Okay,
and forced their hand.
Change GM to front office. I'll sign off. That's fine.
The ownership of Tisha Mara that shoehorned that. Listen, we got to sign this kid. We like this kid.
Okay. Again, I'm more than happy for you to put the word front office in lieu of GM.
Right. I'm not saying, but
it's still a colossal blunder.
So
the NFL is better when the Giants are good too. That's kind of where I live, man.
So
I'm not a fan at all. I don't know a Giant.
Shut up. We reacted to Saquon going to the Eagles back in March on here.
Yes.
And there's even a short about that why we both went off on that and the Giants fans' reaction to that. And at the time, it didn't bother me. It's like, because I understood why they didn't do it. I didn't agree with it, but I understood why they did what they did.
Had to be done.
I understood why he went to where he went. He felt value there and not here. I get that.
And there was a little bit of petty. Don't lie.
But I have to admit, it didn't affect me at all until Friday night watching that game against the Packers. That's when everything the bricks, the whole like animated bricks in the head. That's me. That was me on Friday. I was like, oh my God, we really decided to give that guy $40 million a year and not give this guy another $1 million, $2 million more annually just to make him whole. We consciously made that decision.
Yeah, well, and I'll say this too. It's because the Eagles as a franchise are in a more desperate spot somehow than the Giants. And here's what I mean by that. I believe the Eagles are afraid their window is closing.
Of course, so staying aggressive.
Right. So whereas the Giants, I'm not going to use the term rebuild, but they certainly, if they signed Saquon, they're not suddenly a Super Bowl contender either. Now, maybe in this past draft, they get a new quarterback. They make some trades, although I don't know with what assets they would do that. That's a whole other question. Listen, I mean, I'm not in a front office. It's their job to put together the trades to get the materials that they need and want. Okay. But like, let's say, for example, they ended up with Michael Penix. Would that have been so bad? Let's say, for example, they wouldn't have gotten Jalen Daniels because I don't think the Giants would have ever been bad enough to where a Jalen Daniels would fall to them.
Yeah.
But, granted, I think the other problem is too, I think Dayball's a problem, man.
You think Dayball's a problem?
I do. He's supposed to be this guru, this developer, this what have you, and that's what they invested in. Was, hey, okay, we have this quarterback this coach that's supposed to be good. Let him develop this quarterback that has shown flashes, develop into something.
I guess my question is this now going forward. If you're the Giants, so let's assume that what we saw on Sunday against Minnesota is the trend going forward. They're going to be terrible, this and that. Obviously, they can get out this contract after this year anyway. Daniel Jones, all his guaranteed money paid for. They can cut him and very, very little cap casualty on that one. Do you give Brian Daboll and Joe Shane another shot with more groceries with a new quarterback and let them pick? Remember, this wasn't the pick. This was Dave Gelman's pick. And again, this is what I said on the podcast on Sunday. I'm like, it's bad enough that they got Daniel Jones as their quarterback. They traded up for this guy. They literally traded up. They saw this guy has so much value.
Yeah, it's not Mitchell Trubisky bad, but it's bad. I hear you.
Yeah, and
it's not what's his butt? Trey Lance bad, but it's bad.
And people were saying that this guy would have been there in the second round anyway too. Why'd you trade him for it? You panicked.
Because it's easy. That part of it. Okay, so I'll say this. That question, I believe, is the reverse of the how come all these teams didn't draft Patrick Mahomes.
It's true.
Even Andy Reid will tell you he had no designs. He just trusted the scout that came to him and bugged the bejesus out of him. I was there in the room to hear Andy Reid say he was not on his mind. In Phoenix, by the way, at Super Bowl 57.
Right.
So it's a whole, I don't like doing that part. Where I will always flame the Giants and coaches and organizations like that is when you double down, right? I don't think the Bears doubled down on Trubisky, but the Giants damn sure doubled down on Dobbs, right? That can't be argued, and it's the same thing with the Dolphins too. You could argue, or even the Lions with Goff, or the Jags with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, but those teams had consistent success already with those guys to say, okay, fine. Don Jones has not. Well, even a year, 2 years ago when he had a good year, I said it even in the moment, which is why I said then the reason why I had Daboll as coach of the year was specifically because of how he had Jones on a leash.
Well, the reason why you had him as coach of the year is because you were fooled by give the ball to Saquon as a strategy. Okay, it's the same reason that Cam Cameron was incorrectly given. I believe he was a coach of the year at one point. You don't even remember the name.
Cam Cameron in with the Chargers, right?
still San Diego. Now, why was he a horrible pick for coach of the year?
Well, I don't remember why.
Because his game plan was give the ball to LaDainian.
What do you say? What do you
Tomlinson. That was
duh.
Duh. So his name isn't Brian Duhball, or rather it is. It's not Brian Dayball. It's Brian Duhball, okay? As in give Duhball to Saquon. That ain't no quality coaching. That's 101.
It's common sense.
And yet you think he's the coach of the year. What a promotional tool. It's a shame you're not a Giants fan.
Calm down. Anyway.
What can I say? You're welcome.
Going back to that Friday night game, by the way, a lot of sliding that game. Oh my God,
Friday night for the NFL is stupid.
Oh God, thank God. Well, no, thank God, there'll be a thing. It's by law. It can be a thing anyway.
Right.
Shout out to Matthew Eliza for pointing it out in our chat earlier last week. That being said, one team did not get out alive, and that was the Packers. Jordan Love, thank God for them. Only 3-6 weeks out with the torn MCL or straight MCL, whatever it is. It's a MCL, but
okay, it's bad. Okay,
yeah. 3-6 weeks.
Yeah.
How big impact is it having the Packers next couple weeks? You think?
I think I'm going to need to employ you for a Trump impression. What is a Trump impression you could do for something that's really big?
Really big time. Big. I mean,
God, you suck at your job so hard. Huge.
Okay,
huge,
yeah, huge. Oh,
huge.
You meant literal words.
Huge impact, Ernest Christian. Huge impact. The best impacts of, well, not best actually. That's a very bad impact. But huge impact. Just terrible job. Terrible situation. Just unfortunate. Just very terrible. I can't do it like you, man.
Well, this is gonna be huge because Malik Willis, the backup, sucks.
And you beat me there. That's the punchline, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Music City Malik. And listen, as a guy who covered Malik Willis at least once and I think twice with Liberty at the Cure Bowl for the 3-point conversion. I always thought he was a good athlete. Thought he was good to talk to. He seemed like a good guy. That was the kind of the buzz around him. To see him fail does kind of suck,
Yeah.
But I don't know unless it's been a long, I don't know. Maybe Vince Lombardi's the last time you've even heard this, but unless the Packers run game can dominate, it's going to be a problem. Unfortunately, fortunately for the Pack, that maybe could happen in the coming weeks.
Well, coming weeks next. So 3-6 weeks though. Let's go for next. Let's go to the immediate first three games they have coming up. Indy at home next week. You have the Titans on the road, and you got the Vikings at home. Those are your immediate 3 weeks right there to close it September.
Those aren't schedules, but you also have 3 of those teams that are uniquely stout at stopping the run.
Yep. Then you got the Rams October 6th. If this injury goes beyond that, the Rams on October 6th. Cardinals.
So Rams are obviously a problem because you're going to lose the shootout. I don't care if Puka Nacua is hurt.
Exactly. Yeah. The Cardinals at home on the 13th, and then if it goes 6 weeks, and the Texans on the 20th of October. This is a problem because even the teams like the Colts, like the Titans, like the Vikings, kind of frisky actually.
So can I tell you something here?
Go ahead.
And you might call this a hot take. Other than the Cardinals and probably the Vikings, the easiest game on that schedule for the Packers is the Texans.
Explain.
Because you can run the football on the Texans. You could keep the weapons off the field. You can control the pace of the game. And so long as Music City Malik doesn't make a mistake. By the way, shouts to Cortland Griffin for coming up with the term Music City Malik Willis. Though it doesn't really apply anymore because he's not playing in the Music City anymore.
This is true.
What do we call him? Munster Cheese Malik now? Anyways. Munster Cheese Malik has the opportunity, if he could keep the mistakes down, to have a day where he just hands the ball off and hits the occasional 3rd and long when they come up. That's about it.
I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, I had them making the playoffs, and suddenly, that's the thing, though. In the NFC, with the Bears coming out slow as they seem to be, despite still winning the football game. More on that later. It certainly makes it unpredictable.
It does. And again, Malik Willis is your quarterback now too. Also, the whole.
I mean, I had the Lions win the division anyway, so perhaps it'll still shake out the way my bracket did on the Student of the Game podcast.
Well, the division at this point, the division's a lock for Detroit, barring any massive injuries.
It certainly feels that way, doesn't it?
You know what I mean? But yeah. All right. What do you think about Dak Prescott securing it back literally 2 hours before kickoff?
Oh God, I'll take things I just don't understand for 100, Alex. Like what on? Just why? If you were gonna do, I get staring it down and all of that, but with this going the way it did, this tells me they had this planned to do it.
Agreed, 100%. 100%. You know, I'll tell you why. It's easy answer. Who's the owner?
Okay, but what headlines do you really get? It's fucking game day.
You think he cares?
No, I really do, actually.
I think, dude, he wants any way to get.
I think he cares about optics, and I'm wondering. I don't understand the optics he actually gains.
Nothing really.
He's trying to hide it. Which then, why is he trying to bury Dak getting paid?
I don't know, man. Because it's Jerry Jones. Because Jerry Jones knows he can do it. That's why he does it. It doesn't make any sense. I'm with you.
Because I could see somebody ask him, "Why'd you do it?" Jerry goes, "Well, because I can."
Well, and Jerry Jones being the most powerful owner in the NFL.
My Jerry Jones impression needs work. I'll get on that for you. Yeah. I sounded more like Dana Carvey trying to do Ross Perot right there. It was pathetic.
So you got 230. Well, 4 years, 240, 231 guaranteed. What, $1 million more than Deshaun Watson to become the highest paid quarterback player ever.
I don't have the words, Ernest Christian. Listen, what you've done is handcuff the franchise to either be the first or second in the division and lose constantly in the playoffs. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. They look great on well, not great. I think Dak looked okay. Did
they look okay, or did the Browns prove they don't have an identity? Like I said, it would happen 3 years ago on the Student of the Game podcast and Earnestly Speaking, the Student of the Game report about Deshaun Watson. He can't handle being the villain. He can't.
Yeah, I guess not. But yeah, this is all optics and all. Jerry Jones is trying to steal headlines as he always does. You know what I'm saying?
Do it on Saturday though,
because it's Sunday.
Excuse me, I said it wrong. Yeah, why would you do that on Sunday though?
Because he can.
No, you can't have it both ways. He either cares about optics or he's trying to be the correct.
No. See. He doesn't care about optics. He doesn't care about optics. If he cared about optics, he wouldn't be the fucking general manager and the owner and this and everything else.
No. If he cared about optics, he wouldn't have a radio show. He wouldn't stick his face in a camera or a microphone every 2 seconds when he can. Yeah. No, that's where I disagree.
He doesn't care about optics. That's my point.
I mean, the evidence suggests otherwise, is what I'm saying.
He cares about optics. You know, you might tell him to back the fuck off. He's still heavily involved in every little thing. He's a janitor too, also the team.
Look, defining optics differently because what he wants to be seen.
Look, I never questioned Jerry Jones not loving his team, and every fan of the team wants their owner to give a fuck about their team, and he does. But I think he gives too much of a fuck about his team.
I know you feel strongly about it, Cowboys fan, but I mean, you have to admit he begs for the limelight. That's what I mean.
Oh, he loves it. Oh my God, and especially now in his twilight years, he loves it. He's gonna squeeze the juice out of this money. If he wins the Super Bowl, oh my God.
Slow, lighten up there, Francis. I don't think we're close to that.
Forget woke Jim and his reaction. Jerry Jones.
I mean, first of all, you Cowboys fan, what are you going to say?
I am not a Cowboys fan. What are you talking about?
Sorry.
What?
Well, Brady's retired. He can't win a Super Bowl anymore.
Which, by the way,
now I'm confused.
By the way, Brady did do the commentary in that game. What do you think?
I did not watch the game with his commentary on. I don't chase commentary. I've heard he wasn't good, but I don't know enough to know. I think people are too hard on Greg Olsen, and they compared.
Thank you. I think Greg Olsen's pretty decent what he did.
But it's game one. Can we take a chill pill?
Yeah, thank you. Give
Tom Brady struggle game one.
Thank you. Are you concerned about the Bengals losing to the freaking Patriots?
I mean, on last week's Earnestly Speaking report, did I not hint that Joey Burr needs to prove to me that he's not the most overrated quarterback in the NFL? Now, I will grant he wasn't what lost that game. Boy, were there an ass ton of fumbles and mishandling of the ball when you don't have your primary skill crew in. or at 100%, right? Chase was not I want to say he was limited, but he certainly wasn't. I didn't feel like he was at 100%, right? Higgins, I think, was missing. And yeah, they did not have their full staff. I'm sure that Mikey Byrne of the Huddle Up podcast, filling in for some political pundit that's doubling as a sports expert, doing his best Dan Le Batard impression, who will not be on Huddle Up Tuesday, not to mention any names. But we have to remind everybody he's not voting for Trump. It's EJ, everybody. I'm talking about EJ.
Tell my wife that again. She still thinks, she's like, I'm going to go in the voting booth with you to make sure you vote the right way. I'm like,
it's technically
no, it's not technical. It is illegal. I told her it's illegal. You can't do that.
Yeah,
babe.
Yeah.
I know you love me, but no.
She just wants you to put her in handcuffs. Anyways, boy,
not a problem.
That changed quickly.
No problem with that. But I look at the handcuffs a little bit too, also.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that has me mainly worried about the Bengals in this case is at least 2, if not 3 members of the Huddle Up crew had them either winning the Super Bowl or getting to the AFC Championship.
One's a homer, so we don't count that one.
Yeah, I don't know what your excuse was. I mean, you were a homer for other people, or at least at some point, because
I also have 28 teams, so I can't lose.
Exactly. No, but I think this impacts those chances to get into a favorable playoff seeding, right? Like this AFC North typically is a close division, and games like that do haunt you. Mm-hmm. So I think
they're lucky Baltimore lost. They're lucky Cleveland lost. I don't think the Browns will be an issue.
Well, see, here's the thing. You mentioned that the Bengals going to play Patrick Lavon Mahomes II in week 2, then cancel out what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of homers, Kyle, Mikey B says, Kyle, I miss you, Ernest, picking your bandwagon.
You picked him for the second time in a row because last year we unanimously picked the Bengals to win the Super Bowl.
For the record, I didn't pick the Bengals. In fact, I had the Bengals being one and done this year in the playoffs.
This year, yes.
I did. I am not comfortable sitting there saying that Joe Burrow is overrated. I'm not comfortable saying that. He's still top 4. I'm not.
Because he still needs to prove it after missing so much time. But go ahead.
But I will say that the argument of that now, I can see the argument.
This game should not have brought that argument. There were so many skill position failures. This scheme should not have done that.
So. But it also goes to the fact that, is Joe Burrow a force multiplier? Like, the reason why we say Mahomes is great is not because of yeah, he has weapons, but then he loses Tyreek Hill, who's arguably the best receiver football, and then all he does is win 2 Super Bowls.
Have we not seen that Joe Burrow is a force multiplier? Because with the lack of an offensive line and Joe Mixon being hurt, they still won games. Yeah, Joey Burrow is still a force multiplier. This
is why I'm saying it's complicated. I don't want to. I'm not ready to label Joe Burrow that.
The question you need to ask is he still that? And granted, a bunch of guys fumbling the football does not answer that question for me.
Yeah, one game sample. I would need more than that before I'm ready to go there. Remember last year they did start 0-2 as well too, and they came back before he got hurt.
In the first, okay, so this year there's only been 2, but the stat is something ridiculous. Mm-hmm. In the past 4 or 5 years, it's like what is it? Get his excuse making off the board. It's distracting me at the moment.
Okay,
it's for the past 5 years within week 1 and week 2. So we're 9 games in. Yeah. Next week is the 10th. I think they're like 1-8 for those games. And so the 10 games that are each week 1 and week 2 of the past 5 years, which we haven't gotten to game 10 yet, they're 1-8, including that slugfest. That was actually a brilliant football game. Where it was Steelers and Bengals at the beginning of the 1 year. All right, now put his comment back up. I want to see what he's got.
The first comment he had here was that T. Higgins will be healthy.
No, they'll be healthier. That doesn't matter.
The last one here. Last one.
Shootout, yeah.
Joe Burrow's played defense. He doesn't tackle since Steven broke about 700 tackles in that game. Yeah, no, both of them be right here. And look, I'm not sitting there. I'm not ready to anoint him as overrated either.
The correct answer is because the defense is always going to make mistakes. There's going to be bad weeks when that happen. All that other stuff. I mean, you did get dominated by the Patriots. That's pathetic. But also, again, for me, I think it's more about the sabotage of the offense, and that the defense. You can't blame the defense when the offense is handing the other team good field position with fumbles or leaving points, taking points from the board, I should say. No, to me, it's about the skill positions on offense having arguably the worst game they've had as a unit in probably years, actually. I could argue since Jamar Chase's arrival if I looked at the stats.
And I'll say this much also, too. Unless your name is the Panthers or the Giants, it is week 1. Everybody's all fired up. So you got to give like anomalies here once in a while. If there's anomalies of bad teams playing good early on, that'll be the week 1. That's it. Other than that, that's all.
So see, even by the way, please.
He agrees with you, right? For the record,
about the skill position struggle. Yeah, see, the man understands where I'm coming from. I'm not here to say that the defense was good because it probably wasn't. I mean, you probably didn't understand how to cover Jacoby Brissett because it's the first time, you've played against a run first pass team that acknowledged they were a runs first pass team in a while.
Yeah. So we have 3 rookie quarterbacks debut this weekend. Jane Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix. Give me some grades to all 3.
Grades. Caleb Williams objectively had like a D.
Of course.
Again, it was his first game. So I'll lead with that. Big ups to the Mayonnaise Messiah, proving me correct about why the Titans will not.
Can I ask the question finally? I never asked you guys on Huddle Up. I asked you, where did that name come from?
That is actually Mike Patton making fun of his coffee habits of touring the AFC South.
Really?
Yes.
So that's a Mike Patton joke.
That is Mike Patton, yes.
Okay, the General. Shout out to the General.
Yeah, no, I've actually said it in front of you on shows saying shout out to the General.
Yeah.
You just have refused to remember or wanted to reiterate it for purposes of giving him his props on your show.
It has never actually registered that he's the one actually said that.
Yeah, no, I've said it time and again, and actually I'm a little self-conscious that you didn't pick it up because as much as I've tried to tell people that one's not mine, I need people to listen.
And we're friends too also. I feel bad now. I'm a bad friend to the General.
Well, you can always hit him up directly, Mike Patton 82 on Twitter.
I know. Okay. So you gave a D for Caleb Williams.
Yep.
What about Jane Daniels?
I know they didn't win the football game, but for a guy in his first start, I thought Jane Daniels did pretty damn good.
Yep.
I'm going to give him an A-. I thought he did a good job. Bo Nix for me in the comments here. Byrne has it right with Bo Nix for C. I don't know how you walk away from, a C- is 1 up from a D, I'll grant you. But like for what we're hoping Caleb Williams is, fair or not, he did not meet it. And this list, a team is not going to hand you a victory because not every quarterback is the Mayonnaise Messiah, Will Levis. There's a reason why Will Levis was not a first-round draft pick. Okay,
we saw that on Sunday afternoon.
Well, hell, we saw years ago on the Student of the Game real mock draft for 2023, and people thought we were nuts then too. Who's laughing now, bitches? Anyway,
no, I'll give Jane Daniels also a D. Jane Daniels, I give him a B+, and Bo Nix, give him a C. He was satisfied. He wasn't horrible.
You meant you'll give Caleb Williams also.
Caleb Williams a D.
Yeah,
maybe in D-, honestly. The reason you don't
look at you getting all controversial.
Yeah. D-. I thought Jane Daniels. I thought comfortable for the most part. Tampa is a better team.
Well, and moreover, like I know that the Red Tails, Commanders have revamped a bit, but I can make the argument the weakest. Well, I could probably make the argument the weakest offensive roster is actually the Broncos, but compared to the weapons that Caleb has, Jaden Daniels is relatively barren, right?
Right. I would agree with that. And like I said, I gave Bo Nix a C. He wasn't terrible, wasn't phenomenal, but he kept him in the game.
For sure.
He did. All right. Let's get a little uncomfortable here now. The Tyreek Hill situation.
I think you're gonna do a Trump impression. That would make me really uncomfortable.
What the dance itself, or you're like
little ball? It's really a package deal. Maybe I shouldn't use the word package while you're doing that motion. Anyway.
Don't do that. Don't be rude. Don't be rude.
Don't be rude in stereo.
Tell me I'm not ready for a debate night. I'm not telling me I'm ready for debate night. Anyway. So Tyreek Hill, receiver for the Dolphins, was detained before the game on Sunday against the Jaguars. Yeah. There's been since then a lot of footage, and now we got the body cam footage now of this. Have you watched this yet, Kyle, at all?
Not in its entirety. No.
Okay, I think we have most of it here on the this is courtesy of CBS Miami. I'm gonna play the report here real quick, and you'll react to it in real time.
All right, thanks, Dan.
All right, here we go.
Miami. Breaking news now at 7. Miami-Dade police have just released new body cam video of officers detaining Miami Dolphins player Tyreek Hill in Miami Gardens. Police Director Stephanie Daniel says she released it to be transparent and maintain the public's trust. Let's get right to CBS News. Miami's Jim Barry live in the newsroom right now.
Jim Barry, my boy.
You saw the video for yourself.
Lauren, that is absolutely correct. And the clip that I'm about to show you lasts a little over a minute long. It shows the confrontation between Hill and 3 members of the Miami-Dade Police Department. Take a look.
Don't knock on my window like that.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on?
Don't knock on my window.
Why don't you have your seatbelt on?
Knock on my window like that, no.
Like what?
Don't knock on my window like that.
Why you have it up?
Don't knock on my window like that.
Why you have it up? I have to knock to let you know I'm here.
Don't knock
That
on
way you
my-
can lower it and talk to
Just
you.
get my ticket, bro, so I can go. I'm finna be late, gang. Do what you gotta do.
Keep it down. Hey! Keep your window down. Hey! Keep your window down.
Don't tell me what.
Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car.
Give me that.
Get out of the car.
Give me that. I'm gonna break that freaking window.
Get out of the car.
I'm finna get out.
Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out.
I'm finna get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Damn. What part of blood is doing this? Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting out.
All right, I think that's it there.
So
anything
again,
else?
this
Anything else here?
is over an
No, that's
hour
it.
long.
That's it. All right. Now the Dolphins have actually released a statement this morning or last night. I'm not sure exactly. I'm gonna read verbatim so you guys get that bring up on the screen just real quick here. But your initial thoughts real quick.
Yeah. First of all, I don't think that video is the best video. And when you, as you see more of that body cam footage and body cam footage from other police officers come out, you can tell that that was put out with parts intentionally removed from it. Right now, granted, the response that I've gotten overwhelmingly is, bruh, just put the goddamn window down. And they're kind of right. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to say that Tyreek Hill is to blame, but let's be honest. If you're teaching your kids stuff, listen to the cops. Okay. Number one, first and foremost.
Mhm.
As somebody, by the way, who I know you know, it's easy to go, oh, Kyle's a white guy. Listen, we for those that are watching on the video, we see my complexion being about as dark as EJ. I have gotten accosted by cops myself, you know, being mislabeled as a person of color. So I can speak with some authority there. A, B. The part that isn't, oh, by the way, for context too, you hear him talking to Drew or calling out for Drew on his phone.
Mhm.
That's Drew Rosenhaus, his agent.
Correct.
So for context, so for those that may not have known that. Also, there's another body cam footage from one of the officers on the scene that goes on and shows that while Tyreek is in handcuffs and standing off to the side, you know, there's another exchange and they push him down to the ground
Yeah.
while he's handcuffed,
I'm
which
trying
is
to find
not
it I'm trying to find it right now, actually.
completely unacceptable. Like
Right.
you're gonna accost a dude that's in handcuffs. That's trash. I don't care who you are. I don't care how, what's his word, combative or uncooperative. That's the word they're using. Tyreek was, which he clearly was. Listen, I mean, when you're pulling up and you have a black Lambo and you're all rich and stuff to these cops who are not rich like that, and showing that kind of entitlement, that's not going to rub well. But again, this isn't saying that Tyreek is in the wrong beyond just listen to the cops for the first time, right?
All right, I have that extra footage real quick here of that.
Go ahead.
Here it is. Here it is.
Hey, don't park there.
This is after the arrest.
Park there.
Hey.
Oh, sorry about that. But
Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery on my knee, bro. I just had surgery in your ears when we got there. Bro, chill, bro. Chill, bro. Hey, don't do, bro.
Back up.
Hey, call Drew.
that's Calais Campbell and his other teammate, Janu Smith, I think it is.
Right.
at the
Drew! Hey, call Drew! Call Drew, bro. Call Drew. Call Drew. Hey, call Drew, bro. Hey, what? Hey, call Drew, bro. Just call Drew. Hey. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing nothing. What am I doing that's wrong?
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Hey, man, they got Tyreek. The cops over here beating on him, man. They over here beating on Tyreek,
Listen,
man.
man. Don't park there, man. Just get in
Hey,
the
yo,
car.
hey, Drew, you gotta come, man.
Just get in the car.
Right up the side, on the side of the
Hey, get in the car. You're parked in the middle of the street.
I'm in the car. You gotta go before you get a ticket.
Hey, I'm in the car.
Who's the driver? This is my car. All right, move. All right, I'll take that.
You gotta move right now. Let me have your license. You're gonna have a ticket too.
I'm coming.
Let me have your license. You're gonna have a ticket. Let me have your license.
I'm leaving.
I'm not playing. Let me have your license. Your license right now. Your license right now. You're not gonna give me your license?
Hey,
in the car.
you're not gonna give me your license? I'm leaving.
Let me have your license. Your license right now. Hey, your license right now. Or I'm gonna lock you up. Your license right now. Your license right now. You're dealing with me now. Your license right now. We're not playing this game here, man.
What's man going, man? My license in my bag. Let me get
All right, go get your license.
Get my bag.
Close the door.
Yeah, this part I didn't see actually. Hold on.
Let me stand them up so I can take off this.
I'm going home. Stand up. I'm going home, bro. Fuck your ass car.
Come
All
over
right,
here. Don't
I
fall
think-
off the side.
Yeah, I think that's enough here. All right. Okay, that's actually more content. I'm glad we had played that other part because CBS didn't actually have the entire thing on there also too. So
Right.
I was able to find the extra footage with after he got it. As you mentioned, I'm glad you mentioned before I even got to the footage
Right.
when he was after being apprehended. There was extra stuff that happened, and then of course Calais Campbell and those teammates came to the scene after that. Yeah, I'm with you for the record about the whole part about like him putting the window down. Now I will say I have reports too also that the police already had his ID already too at that point, and it's the reason why he put his window back up. He gave him the ID and then put his window back up after that. That's the point I'm
I
hearing.
hear that too, but again, like if they ask you to keep your window down, you keep that piece down. It's very simple.
Yeah, as I would done too. Also, here's a statement for the Dolphins. It's reading on the screen here. We are saddened by the over. By the way, this statement is actually pretty bold. By a football team they took a side here, from what I understand. We are saddened by the overly aggressive and violent conduct directed towards Tyreek Hill, Calais Campbell, and Jonnu Smith by police officers before yesterday's game. It is both maddening and heartbreaking to watch the very people we trust to protect our community to use such unnecessary force and hostility towards these players. Yet it is also a reminder that not every situation like this ends in peace, as we are grateful this one did. What if it wasn't Tyreek Hill? Is a question that will carry with resounding impact. We are proud to have a strong, positive relationship with the Miami-Dade Police Department and other law enforcement agencies, and recognize that the vast majority of officers do serve the community with the utmost character and desire to protect all citizens. However, as is on the full display in the videos released tonight, there are some officers who mistake the responsibility and commitment to serve with misguided power. While we commend MDPD for taking the right and unnecessary action to quickly release this footage, we also urge them to take equally swift and strong action against the officers who engage in such despicable behavior. We will stand beside Tyreek and our players as they work to use their platform in the situation to make a positive impact in our community. We have always believed that the game of football holds unique power to bring people together, and remain hopeful that through the collective work of the players, organization, and our community partners, we can create lasting change.
Right. So, and aside too, like before the game was over, they were already talking about an investigation and those officers being put on administrative leave. Listen, I think the biggest things worth mentioning here, as far as the police officers themselves, the aggressive tone that they came down with no effort to de-escalate.
That's what stuff me. Yeah,
probably the biggest problem, and that's what led to eventually Tyreek Hill getting dragged out of the car. There's no excuse for him to have. Mike marks it here. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Like the whole situation where he didn't put his window up. And I get that maybe you had to forcibly take him from the car because he wasn't cooperating. I don't know that was the best move, but okay, let's pretend that that's all right. him being on the ground, him with a knee on his back, him getting cuffed, all of that was over the top. And then the worst one for me is you force him down while he's handcuffed for reasons I don't fathom exactly. And granted, I'm no expert on police protocol or what the law dictates in the Dade County area or any of that, but just going purely from optics, that was what was worse for me. And I think the point that's made constantly with what if this wasn't Tyreek Hill? I think that's less about preventative of the incident and more about would the cops be held to task and held accountable? And I think that's the part where the question needs to be posed. These cops would not have been held accountable if it wasn't getting literal national attention through sports media.
Right. Plus the fact that, not just any football players, it's arguably the best receiver in football, number one, and everybody has a goddamn fucking video, video of footage of this thing. So
there's cam footage.
So this is what I'm saying. So what if we didn't have video for this stuff? What if this came and he said, she said, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where I do agree that Tyreek Hill didn't really make matters any better by not putting the window down. But beyond that, though, I don't think the excessive nature of the police here, especially not just the initial arrest, but even when he's already apprehended, already cuffed, and they sit him down again.
And it's forcible.
For what reason? You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I just think, I don't know. Look, I love cops, and I have some of my best friends are cops. I have full respect for what they do, and they put their lives on the line to protect our communities, all that. But yes, we do have people who are, some of them are, I hate to say, bad apples.
The commonality is the lack of, and I don't mean just with, you saw the comment there for the podcast listeners, and Mikey Bird said something about Scotty Scheffler.
Yes, right, correct.
These are people power tripping and not being aware of the situation. And too many times officers, and this is what I get from my police officer friends, anywhere from Ocoee to PD, Seminole County, Castleberry, PD, Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Like I said, I think I know a guy in the Orange County Sheriff's Office as well. All these places, the commonality when something like that goes down is, well, they didn't de-escalate.
Yeah.
And that's not what happened here. This was a dude that was going after a guy in a Lamborghini. And I don't even think it was, I mentioned earlier, the pigment of my skin being a factor in my particular occasion. But I think in this one, this was about seeing somebody who was rich that was trying to be smug in the eyes of the cops, and they overstepped because they were made to feel inferior. That's my, this is me speculating based on what I saw, and just the aggressive tone being used all the way around by one officer in particular was beyond unacceptable. There was no effort to de-escalate.
Right. All right. So, like I said, I noticed me, the black guy on this panel, didn't bring up race one time.
Mm-hmm. And
it doesn't matter because I understand race does play factor a lot of these things, but to me, it's about what's right, what's wrong.
Yeah.
And discussion. Just let's start every argument there, and then we go from there. All right. Now that's out the way. Let's talk about the college football now, and the updated top 25 Associated Press poll is officially out.
Oh, hey! Speaking of catering to the rich,
you're crazy. All right, number 25.
Why I say that, Ernest? Question.
Yes, number 25. The 2-0 upset. I called it. Not the win, but I was giving Jim shit. 25. And NIU.
So this is why it sucks sometimes to be an analyst and not a homer. Okay, Northern Illinois for it's not G5 anymore, but for an FCS program is one I enjoy. They played here in the Cure Bowl here in Orlando. Coach Thomas Haddock is what you want in a football coach, boy, let me tell you. 25, really? Get the entire fuck out of here.
Too high, right? Too high?
Absolutely.
Come on. They beat a number 10 team. Well, number 5 ranked in the country.
Up.
They beat number 5 ranked in the country.
Stop it. They don't belong there in the first place, and you damn well know it. Just like Jim does. He just won't deal with it because he's a homer.
I love to get triggered this shit. 24 Boston College. Hey, look. So, Florida State fan here. We lost to the team that's in the... Just joking. Go ahead.
It's hilarious. No, and Boston College, again, being at 24 is absolutely laughable. The ACC bias strikes the fuck again. What are we doing here?
23 Nebraska.
Buddy, come on. What's going on? You beat Dion. Who gives a shit?
You make it be agrees. Let's go Nebraska. We'll talk about Dion in a second. 22 Clemson, up 3 spots.
Again, ACC Elitem as it's defined. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Man. 21 Iowa State, sorry.
We both know they're there to artificially pump up Iowa if and when they actually start winning football games.
Right. Number 20, also unchanged, Arizona.
I like it.
Okay. Number 19, up 3 spots. Your favorite team, Louisville Cardinals.
I don't know what they did to go up 3 spots. Absolutely ridiculous. And
they beat Jacksonville State 49-14.
Oh, well, gosh. Them being coached by Deion. Oh, wait. Stop it.
Number 18, down 13 spots. Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
It's not enough.
Oh,
the whole reason that Northern Illinois is in the top 25 is so they can bolster their money cow. More bias from the damn CFP committee, and at this point, it's embarrassing.
Is that coach in the hot seat?
No. Well, okay. I know you seem to think so.
I didn't say anything.
That's a lie. Okay.
That's Jim.
That is a lie. You mentioned hot seat in the Huddle Up podcast message or chat group message. You absolutely 100% mentioned it.
No, I asked the question. I didn't say you was.
I said mentioned it. I said mentioned it. You, sir, were pot stirring. You clickbaiting motherfucker. All right? I went full Joe Pesci on you, sir. Anyways, can we go?
Are you trying to say Marcus Freeman's good looks can get him past keep his job beyond this year? Who knows?
No, I didn't say that. I think putting Marcus Freeman on the hot seat at this time is nutty. This is up there with trying to fire Brian Kelly at Notre Dame when he's the only guy that has gotten you 4 10-win seasons.
I totally agree with you. Number 17, Michigan down 7 spots. Texas though. Ooh.
I really think that they should be lower, but I understand giving a little wiggle room for the former national champion.
Yeah. 16, up 2 spots, LSU. And the family.
I don't dislike it, but it's interesting.
All right. 15, unchanged, Oklahoma.
I mean, they haven't done anything yet. They played a bunch of tune-ups, and as soon as Kurt Venable starts losing football games, they'll drop. It's fine.
All right, 14 up 3 spots, Kansas State.
I like Kansas State being ranked high. I don't know about 14, but okay, sure.
Well, 13 up 3 spots, Oklahoma State.
Stop it. What in the entire fuck are we doing here?
Number 12, down 1 spot, and he deserves it because he ruined my fucking parlay, Utah.
How did Utah ruin your parlay?
I had him covering his Baylor.
Oh, and it's still an 11-point win. Yeah. Okay. Let me get this right. They lose a spot for winning a non-conference conference game, and you penalize them, but we gave Oklahoma State 3 spots. Sure. Why the fuck not? Almost lose to a garbage-ass Arkansas team, but yeah, stop it. Next.
Number 11, up 2 spots. Oh, my God, USC.
I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
Not mad at it.
Top 10. Number 10, up 2 spots, the Hurricanes of Miami.
I think this is where they belong in the top 10. Yes.
All right. Down another 2 spots. Number 9, Oregon. You called it, brother.
Oregon should be replaced by USC in the top 10.
Dylan Gabriel is not that great.
I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Number 8, unchanged, Penn State.
Penn State should not be 8 with how hard they struggled against West Virginia. That was embarrassing and beating up and nearly losing, to Bowling Green. And there's no fucking change. Who was the team that went down a spot earlier that we were talking about? EJ Christian, scroll down for me.
Which one is that? Here.
Utah.
The Utes.
Let me get this straight. Penn State nearly loses to West Virginia and Bowling Green, but Utah is outside the top 10. Kiss my entire ass.
Number 7, up 7 spots with a big win against the Wolfpack. Tennessee Volunteers.
I mean, the good news here is that the Wolfpack is out of the top 25, and rightly so. Shouts to Mikey Bird.
Of course. All right, number 6, up 3 spots, Missouri.
I'm not going to get mad. No, I'm going to get a little mad because them at 6 is ridiculous. I don't know
high,
enough about
right?
this team. It's definitely too high. Yeah, I don't understand this yet.
Would you agree it's by SEC bias?
It's a factor.
Okay. All right. Number 5, up one spot, and the team I'm most intrigued by this year, Ole Miss.
Aren't we all? Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I love that they're getting the love that they're getting, and hopefully they end up earning it as the year goes on.
Mm-hmm. Number 4, unchanged, Alabama.
I'm not mad at it. I know a lot of people will be all like, oh, but USF gave you a run. Yeah, you also blew it open in the fourth quarter and you started finally giving a damn. I'm not going to ruin them, ruin their standing for that because they still won in dominant fashion. It's not sneaking past Arkansas by a score, okay?
Mm-hmm. Right. All right. Up, down one spot actually now. Number 3, Ohio State.
I'm not mad at it.
We know why, though, because number 2 went up.
Because they bombed Michigan. I love it.
Right. And number 2, up one spot, Texas.
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, that's the only reason why Clemson is in the top 25 is because Georgia's the number 1 damn team in the nation.
Yeah, of course, the one Georgia, of course. I mean, top 3 and now is a game of inches.
By the way, should Dabo lose another game, he probably falls out of the top 25.
But it's not like he's like on the edge of there anyway. So, you know.
He's,
I mean,
he's at 23, I think is what you showed there.
22.
Excuse me.
Close
One
enough.
more loss and they're out of the top 25 right there next to your Seminoles.
I agree with that. Might be the same Ole Miss West Million pounds. Yeah, I agree. They're amazing.
I'm not prepared to rule that out, buddy. Speaking of a million points, I'll say this here on your show, EJ Christian, because I don't think we're going over it tonight on the Huddle Up podcast. But my coverage of the black and gold banneret surrounding UCF football leads me to believe that for the first time in a long time, I'm going to recommend an under in TCU battling UCF.
Under in what was over under?
I don't know what the number is, but I see only 55 points of offense in that game.
Okay. Well, since I won't be on the show tonight, do you want to hear my power rankings before I get out here? So
I don't give a shit about your power rankings, you Dan Le Batard political pundit wannabe. By the way, shouts to Dan Le Batard. I actually do like his show. That's just a joke between me and EJ.
I'll ask again. Do you want to hear my power rankings before I get out here?
About Miami politics, so of course I have to make the Dan Le Batard joke.
You don't want to hear power rankings?
Oh, fine.
Okay, we see if I can bring up my notes here. Maybe I can bring up my notes.
Do your bottom five first.
Bottom 5 when they go up from top to bottom.
Well, no, yeah, sure.
All right, so 28 Broncos, 29 Raiders, 30 Titans, 31 Giants, 32 Panthers.
Love it. I
oh my God.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You got the appropriate requisite teams, man. Yeah, a San Diego Charger team that's supposed to have a hurt or limited Justin Herbert getting clobbered. The Raiders, have proven once again that they're in the Shedeur Sanders sweepstakes. The Broncos, I like that you put them there high enough in the basement to where in a week's time they may find themselves back if they play good football. I like that. Of course, everybody else belongs, including the mayonnaise messiah. Very stoked about all of that.
Let me see this works real quick. I'm gonna try something here real quick so you can see it on the screen because I have never tried this before.
Well, while you're doing that, I will comment death taxes in the under from Mikey Byrne. Slow your goddamn roll. Okay. Kill the entire hell out for 30 seconds.
All right, so I'm gonna describe that.
There's only 2 teams that involve the under, and they both have U in their primary name. Okay, UCF and Utes. Okay, there you go. Utah.
Can you see that, sir? That's my
I can.
my notepad actually.
But read it off for the podcast.
All right, number 10, I have the Chargers. Number 9, I have the Bills. Number 8, I have the Dolphins. Number 7, I have the Texans. Number 6, the Cowboys. 5 Ravens. 4 Lions. 3 Eagles. 2 Niners. 1 Chiefs. Just to say you fucking love it. I know it's perfect.
Horseshit.
Mikey, give me your rankings where you're at, Mikey. Where you're at on the in the chat here.
No, save your rankings for Huddle Up. He doesn't.
There is no rankings on the Huddle Up tonight. So I'm not there.
You know about it. You're not going to be on the goddamn show. I'm joking.
He said no. He said nothing tonight.
Relax, Francis. Listen. There's a number of errors you have here. First of all, the Baltimore Ravens should in fact be 3rd ahead of the Eagles.
That I did. Well, here's the thing. I actually considered putting them. I almost left them at, what were they last week? They were at last week they were 2.
The Ravens?
Yeah.
That tracks. They should not have fallen as far as they did. That is the statement.
Niners were impressed last night. That's the
I
Detroit
think you
winning.
have the Eagles a little too high. So if the Eagles are at 5 after what I said, What I'm telling you is to move them down further to 8 or 9. I'm going to say that the Eagles should be behind the Dolphins at this point.
Who? The Eagles?
Yes. Just because, again, the nature of the win, Jordan Love getting hurt, that it's I know there are Eagle fans that are going to be in range of this. I'm not saying drop them out of the top 10, keep them there, give them an opportunity in an actual proper, lacking a better word, situation and scenario that they can earn that next week by showing me just a teensy bit more. That works. That works for me. You have the Cowboys at 5, I think.
6.
High. Too fucking high. No.
Maybe I was high. Maybe I was high.
I thought that was implied, but okay, you do you, homie.
I mean, should I put Texans ahead of them? The Texans?
Yes.
Dolphins? Oh, yeah, I guess yes, because you said Dolphins ahead of the Eagles, and yeah.
I sure did, didn't I? So there's your answer on that. I'm just really high on the Dolphins offense at this point. By the way, I will compliment you and see you resist the urge to place your Saints on the top 10.
No, I'm not a madman.
Yes, you are, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, that's the other guy.
I'm
a bad scientist.
I will say this, and this is probably going to be the most controversial thing.
Okay.
You technically have the Chargers in there. I'm not prepared to do that. And the only team I might be able to put in there that I think belongs is the Steelers, but then also no, because their offense was trash. Okay. I'm very uncomfortable with the Bills being top 10 right now.
You are comfortable with that?
I am uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
I just, and maybe it just doesn't hold because it's week 1.
So let me ask you this though: who's missing from this list?
Let me hit the punchline. I'm getting there. I think the team who took it to the NFC runners-up in overtime is getting severely disrespected. I think right now, the Los Angeles Rams should be at 9 or 10, probably 10, and I would reluctantly do it behind the Buffalo Bills. I don't believe the Chargers should be in the top 10. Right?
I see argument for this here. Mike said Tampa over the Chargers. I can see the argument for that, actually.
Tampa?
I can see the argument. I don't agree, but I can see the argument for that.
The reason, and Tampa's intriguing for one reason and one reason alone, is they played a rookie quarterback against a team that we know is struggling.
Tampa also a playoff team last year, also team that won a playoff game last year as well, too, and played well in the loss.
So I don't.
No. Yes or no? No, I agree, but I do. You already know how my science works. This thing. History does play a part in this too, also.
And I'll give Byrne this much credit too. The roster on the whole is better than the Chargers. However, I believe the Chargers are better coached. So it makes it a very, very fascinating thing. And yeah, you mentioned the Chargers beating Gardner Minshew. I'm not saying, okay, so if you're trying to put Tampa and Los Angeles Chargers at 11 and 12, I'm not mad at that.
No, I actually had Tampa 11 and 12 actually around there. So that's why I don't hate what he said there. I think there's an argument for that.
If he's getting in the weeds to say that Tampa should be 11 to the Chargers 12, I will totally allow that. That's not a problem.
I'm just a huge believer in Jim Harbaugh. You already know how I feel about Jim Harbaugh. So
no, you already know how I feel about Jim Harbaugh, you son bitch.
And on that note, plug away. Great show tonight, man. Great show.
God, I have no idea where that energy came from. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the same, the student of the game. Check out my writings with the Black and Gold Banneret covering UCF football, which I will do Saturday. I won't be writing for the Black and Gold Banneret. Instead, I will be hosting the Night Shift podcast powered by the Black and Gold Banneret. So check that out. Of course, Jake Ferraro representing Black and Gold Banneret. I'm going to get that bell for Jake in there. He also, by the way, I forget the name of the sites, but was recently acquired to write for the Ottawa Senators, doing some hacky there. So
say it again. Ottawa.
The Ottawa Senators, yes. I say Ottawa because it's just, there's a lot of vowels there. The Ottawas. It's kind of, we always say Johnny Manziel. Ottawa.
Manziel, remember? Manziel?
Manziel.
Yeah. God, still a thing 10 years later.
Manziel, I know, but Manziel. It's
Manziel.
There was another guy I used to do that with. I forget who it was.
I'm trying to remember. As you said, I'm trying to remember that too. Also, those actually two other guys I think used to do it for. Well, I'll think about it later.
Yeah, but no, of course, we'll never forget Russell
Carrington
Wilson.
Ken Tanter's Russell Jamiroquai.
Didn't matter. He didn't play anyway. Yeah, and then of course, my work with Fans First Sports, doing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll have an article up during the week leading into the game talking about the keys to the game. And if this just ignorant criticism of Trevor Lawrence doesn't stop, I might have to respond. There's some horrible takes out there regarding the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive performance this week. It's just very ignorant, no ball, people. And of course, on Wednesday night, 7:30, the Duval Dive sets up the Student of the Game podcast. Of course, me and my friend Travis D. Holmes of Big Cat Country starts off the night on Wednesday and then leads into the Student of the Game podcast, 9:00 Wednesday night, where I will have my opportunity to comment on all things NFL proper as well as college football. So there's that. Of course, then there's later tonight, we'll record the Huddle Up podcast where EJ will be a little bitch and do a pod with his friends talking politics.
No, we're doing a live stream. We're live streaming the debate in real time.
So you little bitch.
Join me.
Nah, that's okay. Yeah, politics only cause unrest in my house. That's a whole other question, buddy.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then so with all that in mind, an honor, joy, and privilege. By the way, after the Jacksonville Jaguars game, you Duval Devout members out there, be ready for the Duval Dive live, where Travis D. Holmes and I do an instant reaction. We had a lot of fun with that this past Sunday. You want to know what the biggest complaint is?
You went live immediately after the game too.
Not immediately, but
within the hour.
It will be immediate next time because Travis will not have technical issues.
How I knew that though was because I started recording my podcast about 5:00, 5:20 ish, and I saw you guys were live. Right, like, oh shit, you guys are live too. Interesting.
Yeah, you are the idiot that tries to compete with me. Thanks.
No, I didn't. But unlike you, I didn't go live though. I pre-recorded mine.
Oh, well, okay. I mean, you have competed with me before going live on Wednesday nights during the Student of the Game podcast.
Not on purpose.
But that's a whole other thing. It's been 9:00 on Wednesdays for years. How do you not do that on purpose?
Yeah, but I was okay with the time that I was talking about music. I did an album draft on that night.
That actually was a cool concept.
Yeah.
That's why I hated competing against it, you son.
Yeah. I said what I said.
No, but anyways, of course, do not forget that live reaction. And check out the podcast if you missed the Duval Dive on the Fans First Sports Network. That's what gets me and Travis a little bit of corn. So do all that. And honor, joy, and privilege. Ernest Christian. Until next time, everybody. Class dismissed.